build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance that's bit in his eye. Oh, well, they gave me bars, but I can see between to a dusty yard and long gone green. We call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I drown my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober as a judge.
Hello everybody, welcome to Shortbangers. I'm Matty. I'm hosting tonight. Tonight I'm joined by John. John, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just looking at the picture of Brian's crotch on the webcam.
It was very close, wasn't it? Very, very close.
It was so close. It was giving me the eye.
Just the one eye. It was winking at you.
Aye.
Brian, how are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm back. I've not seen you for a couple of episodes, so I thought I'd reward you with a picture of or an image of a very disappointing package.
Did you see the Danish cartoon? Was it Danish? It was kind of shared on WhatsApp last night about the guy with the massive knob, John Dillerman.
John Diller. Is it Dillerman?
Dillerman. Which translates into penis man.
Aye.
There's a superhero for you.
Da, 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 da.
I watched the cartoon and it was decent, to be fair. The boy gets up to some adventures, but it was like something for the Viz.
What's the message behind it?
I'm not sure. Maybe like if you watched it translated in English, it might be a bit clearer. But what I took from it is people with massively oversized knobs are clumsy as fuck.
Aye. And
So-
have outrageous control of their cocks.
Aye.
Like the boy was taking the dogs for a walk at one point.
He was dangling a hot dog like a carrot on the end of a stick.
So obviously, there'll probably not be many people that know what we're talking about right now. So we'll tweet the link out afterwards.
Aye,
But
we'll move on. It was good though. It was well worth a watch anyway. If you've not seen it, it's on YouTube. A couple of minutes of your life that you'll definitely appreciate. I think there's one bit where he obviously he's not saying the words, but it sounds like he calls a woman a good whore. And then wee dogs bite him on the knob, and he pretty much definitely says "fucking" every time it happens. Aye, it's for kids. The program, believe it or not.
bizarrely.
Aye. Right, Shortbangers anyway, 20 minutes. We're going to put that on the clock. We've got questions from people, so we will get cracking on that. First question of the evening comes from Hibs Allison. She says, have any of your listeners or you chugged one out at Easter Road? I can't speak for listeners, but I've never done it. I've never been that aroused at Easter Road in that way.
I'm usually too nervous to even contemplate a wank.
Brian?
Have I ever had a chug in Easter Road? No. If you'd said Brockville, it'd be a different answer, but
Well, get in touch with us if you've ever done that. We didn't really need the details.
Not Brockville, their nickname's the Bairns. No, I'm not doing that. Capello.
Aye. I've done. Or, sorry, I was thinking of Dumbarton. I didn't know the Suns. That would have been worse. Right, Neil Renton says, what's your favourite banger? He loves Richmond's.
Again, I used to like.
Yeah.
My mum used to like when we were younger. My mum used to make like, I guess it was bangers and mash, and I just remember the sausages that she would make. They were done in the oven, and they were just big, long, wrinkly, horrible things.
Like John
But
Diller.
I like John Diller.
We've been having the Heck chicken sausages. Not today with Heckenbottom, John. Just to kind of before you get excited. They're decent. Only recently started trying chicken sausages because the wife's trying to increase the protein in her diet. So
Well, I could probably help you out with that because
Oh,
I
aye.
got myself.
No,
There you go,
John,
again,
don't
there
do
we
it,
go.
John, no.
just going back to our previous question, John.
Discuss this.
What was the previous question? No, that kind of protein. No, I got myself it was a slow cooker, high protein, low fat cookbook, and I can send it over to you by PDF. There you go.
Nice one. It's a good shout. Brian?
Hall's sausages, the Kunsel sausages.
By the way, whole sausages on a buttered roll.
No,
He said,
ten of them basically just strategically popped into a bowl of bachelor super noodles, doused in ketchup. That's the game.
this reminds me of that episode of MasterChef I watched.
Brian, are you behind the JKT's Twitter account?
The what?
JKT's.
Who's that?
So it's Jakey dinner plates, pretty much. So like
right.
like a bird's eye potato waffle with alphabet spaghetti.
Have you ever done the waffle challenge?
No.
Actually, probably not, because it was something that I created. But
I think I've
Is
done
it something that you've shared with the world before?
Oh man, I'll make more entertainment. No, you get a packet of bird's eye potato waffles, which are obviously waffly versatile, and I think you get 12 in a packet. But basically, cook them, get a full tin of beans, pour them over the waffles, and basically try and eat everything on the plate. It's impossible.
That doesn't sound like a challenge, to be honest.
It can't be done.
Hang on.
We got
12 bird's eye potato waffles and a tin of beans.
Yep.
1 tin of beans.
Yep.
Easy.
Sounds easier, but I think I've managed 9, and I just gave up.
well, I got it was like, do you know the Alpha Bites?
Aye.
5 or 6 bags of them. One time we were having a dinner party, so guests around trying to impress them, and unfortunately I got left
Dinner party for bears.
in charge of the food, so I got all these bags of Alpha Bites, and I was cooking them all when Jane came through, and she's like, "Are you concerned?" And I thought, well, this could spell disaster. Right. Next question comes from Mark Cochran. He said, "Did anyone see the razor blades on the chewing gum on the flumes at the Commie Pool?" This is an urban myth, wasn't it? Like, this never actually happened, did it?
Never saw it, but I heard the urban myth, and I don't know how far you can cast your mind back, like going down the flumes at the Commie Pool, but I remember seeing like marks down the side of them. I used to think going down like, oh, that must have been where one of the razor blades were. But obviously, I was young at the time, and now I know it was just a lot of shite.
What, on the walls?
No, like on, like the plastic sort of tubing that you go down.
Aye.
Aye, no, there was like marks, like they weren't like perfectly clear. There was always like marks and stuff as you were going down.
Do you remember the names?
River Rapids.
Everyone remembers that one. Vortex.
Stingray was one of them.
Stingray.
Vortex.
Aye. Stingray was the fastest fuck one, wasn't it?
Aye.
You had to sit like you were going in a coffin. But you lie down and cross your arms up over your chest.
There was River Rapids, Stingray, Vortex. There was a fourth one, wasn't there?
I thought it was just 3.
Oh, I only done the River Rapids because I was a shite bag.
What about the diving boards? You ever go up on the diving boards at the Commie?
I think I made it onto the 10-metre board.
I think I did the second one. I think I ever dived off the third one. I probably walked up it, but like
Was the third one like the big Olympic slab?
Aye,
like,
I think the
way
third
up?
one was the first one that looks like a proper fucking like a diving board and not just a springy thing.
I always had the fear I would dive in and lose my shorts.
Aye.
Mind you, didn't wear the shorts in the first place.
I thought I'd dive in and lose my shit.
Aye. Just never fancied. I never thought it looked that much fun. Right, David Loudon, have you ever met a celebrity who you previously thought was sound, only for them immediately to turn out to be a cunt?
No, I've not actually met that many celebs. In fact, I don't think I've met any.
Nah.
I met Tony Drago. I never spoke to him either. Oh, I mean, there was Cassandra from Only Fools and Horses and Steve Brookstein, the first ever X Factor winner, but I never spoke to them either.
Nah.
Steve Brookstein seemed like a bit of a dick, to be fair, didn't he? Maybe that's irrational of me.
Well, he did though, didn't he? We had when I worked at, this is a true story, I think I've mentioned it before. When I worked at McDonald's at Meadowbank, we had Coolio came in. I told you this before.
What?
This, straight up. So it was a weird week, right? I'll tell you about this this week. So Coolio had been playing, fuck knows where, Liquid Rooms or somewhere like this, or probably somewhere bigger, given it was Coolio. And he came in, and what happened? There was 2 or 3 big kind of vans pulled up with like blacked out windows and everything, and then just fucking whole entourage of folk came in and ordered their food. But I wouldn't say he was like, he didn't do anything wrong. He wasn't particularly nice to folk or that, but he wasn't flash and leaving big tips. He just got his fillet of fish and fucked off. That was it. But in the same week, I think we also had Mark Lamar came in, and Nick Hancock. He's a comedian as well. He was sore-faced. And this is the weirdest one. There was a night shift I was doing, and a busload of, I'll describe them as Swedish army women, because that's what they looked like. They were like blonde in camouflage gear, but properly pissed up, and they sort of overtook the counter and started kind of serving up chips for themselves and all this kind of stuff. And nobody quite knew what to do with this situation because it was fucking surreal. And then they paid for their stuff and left, and everybody was kind of wondering whether or not it actually happened. Actually, the best celebrity encounter that happened at McDonald's, and this will be a surprise to you because of who I say celebrity inverted commas. John Robertson came in, the former Hearts striker and scourge of us Hibs fans, and we had a guy that worked whose name was Matthew. I'll not give his surname away. Who looked like Penfold, right? He was small, chubby, looked like Penfold, and you know, one of these folk that just fucking lies about everything. Do you know, like his uncle worked for Ferrari, his other uncle owned a telescope that was more powerful than NASA's telescopes. But anyway, he said he used to play for Hearts, right? And if you saw him, he's never played football, right? Unless he had some fucking life transforming thing happen to him. John Robertson came in one day and he'd been given it, oh, I used to play for Hearts. And he walked up and had one of these really nasally voices. And he says, all right, Robbo, you remember me? And John Robertson just went, no. We were like, hey. Aye, he was some boy. That guy, I saw him getting an interview for another place that I worked after that. And, you know, there's no involvement from myself. Thankfully, he never got the job because he was a fucking monumental pain in the arse. Anyway, like, David Loudon had met Sean Walsh during the Edinburgh Festival, and it proved to be the case. And that was well before he revealed his cuntiness by banging his Strictly dance partner. So, never meet your heroes, as they say. Right, Ron Burgundy, I have a fear of ring binders folders due to many injuries at high school and college. What makes your ring bind?
Broken limbs, arms, legs, anything so things like Diabril, Cisse, or Ronaldo. Was it Ronaldo? No, Cisse. Anything that's normally straight that sticks at a right angle.
When things are dangling, they shouldn't be dangling.
Aye. That gives me absolute fear.
I have to turn away. I cannot watch stuff like that.
I'm quite squeamish with that kind of thing as well. Aye. Well, there you go. Right. Ron Burgundy also asked the worst pies in Edinburgh, Lothian and Fife. He suggested Curvey, the connoisseur, could provide a rating system. So where is the worst pie that you've eaten?
I'm not one to kiss and tell.
I had
I don't think I eat as many pies as people probably think. I only really eat one when I go to football. And obviously not been there for about 15 years, but it feels like
a long time, man.
But when I saw this question come in, I was thinking about my adopted dad. When he was a joiner, he used to spend a bit of time cutting about like roll vans first thing in the morning, like at various different places around Edinburgh and the Lothians, depending on where it was that they were picking up, plastic or wood or whatever it was they were working with that day. And he had a plan for developing like a Michelin star guide to roll vans. I thought that was genius. He just never ever got around to it.
What would he call? What was his alternative to the Michelin star?
I don't know. I'll ask him and I'll get back to you. I'm sure we kind of talked about names for a while, but I can't remember.
Well, it was suggested a pie chart was what you could use for grading them. The
What's the
Scotch pies, Greg's up at ours are the worst ones. They're fucking horrendous. In fact, scrap that. They're bad, but there's a Spar at Holbeath, and the pies there are. I would barely class them as a foodstuff. I made the mistake of going in one time and thinking it might have been Stevens ones, and it was not a fucking Stevens pie. It was disgusting.
What makes
Baines at Stenhouse.
Baines of Stenhouse. Are you saying worst or best?
Best. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
A car crashed into Stenhouse Cross the other day, into one of the houses there. Lost control. Fuck knows how you at what speed you need to be going to lose control at the end of a road. But that's what they did.
Not me.
I was waiting for a punchline there, but
No,
is that
it's
a true story?
true story, because we used to stay at the house like one or two before where the car had crashed into. Aye, but beans are good pies, and are largely responsible for a good chunk of the timber that I carry these days as well because of when I lived there. So there you go. Thanks very much, Beans. Ladij answering the celebrity question. He said Craig Charles, absolute douche. Ron Burgundy, are Celtic in Washington? Lots of shark fencing getting thrown about. Do you think Celtic fans had anything to do with the nonsense in Washington?
Possibly.
They could just lose a big game. So
I mean, they were out their house protesting results. They might be away protesting the election.
aye, did you watch any of that?
I saw bits of it on like coming through Twitter and whatnot. Just crazy.
Fucking mental state of affairs.
So I was going to ask actually. See Capitol Hill or like the House of Representatives. Is that like our Westminster or Holyrood?
Like Parliament, yeah.
Aye. I was laughing at some of the people. Like you've maybe seen the videos as well. There was a woman that was on camera talking about where she came from and how she got maced and why she got maced because she was trying to break in. And then there was a woman that got shot, and there was a guy that was saying, you know, you can't be shooting people that are protesting. Like, what kind of government is this? But I was thinking to myself, you're probably the same guy that's screaming for the Second Amendment until you get shot.
You'd have been out guarding statues and fucking demanding that black people get shot for taking the knee and everything. So,
well,
welcome.
It annoys me that they spell capital wrong.
Ah, yeah, well, they spell loads of things wrong, don't they?
I'd probably want to storm the building for that alone.
How,
Just Tipex everywhere.
I demand satisfaction.
this is one of the reasons why I hated Sesame Street when I was wee. Because all the kids shows you watch when you're wee, Sesame Street was the worst one. And you can understand a lot of why America is the way it is now, because it's all about spelling and numbers and things like that. But they can't spell colour. For a start, capital, spelt wrong. Sesame Street's fucking ridiculous, and that's responsible for all that kind of nonsense, in my opinion. Big
So,
Bird is a fucking dick.
The civil unrest that we're experiencing in America right now is you're basically tracing that back to Big Bird.
And the wee fucker that lives in the bin.
Hang on.
I think there's any other rational explanation for it.
Strangely enough, that is not even the top 100 most outrageous conspiracy theories that Americans have came up with.
It's no. Right, next question comes from Hibs at Hibs 32. He says, or she says, any moment at the football where it was just too funny to get angry. His personal favourite was Kajabi's free kick, obviously, and when Amadou Conte ducked under the ball at home to Celtic at the back post. So what things have been that bad that instead of getting annoyed that you've laughed?
The semi-final against Dundee United in the year that we went on to win it. Conrad Logan turning up looking like he did. No disrespect to the guy. I think he would probably say that he was carrying a wee bit extra timber, but then Jason Cummings and that fucking Panenka.
That's a great show, by the way.
Like there was so many different things going on that day. Like there was so like normally Hibs get to a semi-final at Hampden. Like we were talking about that the other day. Like it just seemed so commonplace. But I think folk were scunnered because of the Ross County final before that, having lost it. But actually, it was a pretty quiet affair at Hampden. So you've not got many bodies there. You've got, an overweight goalkeeper who's coming at the last minute because your other goalkeeper got booked for losing a contact lens, and then Jason Cummings fucking dinks it over the bar, and me and my mates were just kind of looking at each other in disbelief, and kind of said to each other, "What the fuck? Like, how do we manage to plumb new depths of ridiculousness?" And the rest was history.
Aye, the rest was history. There's been some bad misses and things like that, eh? Like open goals, you're thinking, here we go, we're going to get a goal, and somebody fucking fucks it up.
I
One of
mind
the funniest I've seen that I couldn't, and I genuinely remember it, probably because it's one of the rare occasions I've been at Easter Road, but I was in the West Stand and I witnessed with my own eyes Eduardo Hurtado playing off the shoulder and trying to spin his man. And I can vividly remember laughing out loud at watching it. It was oh fucking hell. Kajabi's free kicks up there.
Aye, that was
that's a
terrible.
good point. I think I remember watching the Hibs Dundee United semi-final in the pub, and I was rough as fuck for the night before, the Friday night. I don't even think I'd been to my bed. And I sat in the pub, scunnered, on a come down, and then I just seen Conrad Logan emerge for the tunnel, and I think I laughed, and I just thought, fucking, this is just fucking Hibs.
It's the typical way.
And the rest is history. The big man played a blinder.
And he offered to come back as well. Did you see that when
aye.
QPR recalled their goalkeeper, Barnes? What's better at inciting riots, Donald Trump Twitter or Davy Gray headers?
There was no riot. It was just exuberance.
It was just no malice. No malice. Ray Forsyth, I was thinking earlier on, what's attributed to more deaths, the US Republican and Democrat divide or the Scottish Home Front? Does anyone want to give there is no Home Front line?
I was just about to say that the Americans will soon catch up because there is no Old Firm anymore. That left us in 2012.
12. I think so. Kaiser Soze, how much is the ransom for Brian Dickey?
Not much. I'm easily bought.
We had a bag of shirts and a football, so nobody came forward with the money, so we're just going to have to release you into the free end of the wild anyway, Brian.
Free to a good home. I'm fucking worthless at the moment, so.
Mark Stevens, do you think Donald Trump will buy the nearest football club to Turnberry?
Did you see that he did he have plans to come to Scotland like the day before he was due to kind of give up the presidency to Biden, and the Scottish government said, nah, you're not coming in.
Aye.
No foreign travel. I'm sure that there'll be palms greased and if he wants to, he'll come.
It was Jane Godley, I think, was it, that had the sign when he came that time that just said Donald Trump is a cunt.
I used to like him. I used to think he was comedy value. It was like Wagner.
I was about to say comedy like Wagner.
Aye, but Wagner and the X Factor, just when he started getting through, that was when I thought this programme is just shit. So I ended up championing Wagner, and I think I actually phoned and voted for him one Saturday because it just made a mockery of the whole thing. And I viewed Donald Trump in a similar vein. He just made a mockery of, well, fucking planet Earth. But now he is just a bit of a tit.
Aye, I find it fascinating.
Like, you can draw the parallels with him in the election and Anne Budge in relegation. And it's a similar hairstyle as well. Just imagine Trump in a tartan blazer.
He's left a part finished wall. She's got a part finished stand. There's loads of parallels. She didn't accept the Democratic vote.
I will not accept the conclusion of that wall bordering Mexico until I see a stairway leading up to it, like halfway.
no far enough up for you to be able to climb, and no low enough for you to be able to just step off it.
Onwards and upwards, Joe.
Right, last couple of questions. Sam said, who are the players or coaches that you've completely forgotten about being at Hibs? He's got Alan Gow, Darryl Duffy, and Derek Adams. So obviously there's what's his face.
How can you completely forget somebody and then mention them?
Exactly. What's his face? Thinking with Bob. That guy. They're quite good examples of Duffy, Derek Adams, Alan Gow, Jonathan Johansson.
Oh, aye.
Valdis Trackis.
Aye. Matt Luvicius, is that his name? That was signed the same time as Slivka.
Macho
scored an absolute rocket on his debut.
No,
it was 8-0 or something.
He scored, but it wasn't a rocket.
The one he scored kind of came off somebody's arse or something. There might have been his arse that came off.
Bundled it in for about 3 yards, and he didn't even mean it.
Umar Kondi.
There was
some names are more recognisable, like folk like Alan Gow, for example. Like he played maybe 5-10 games. I think he got injured and then got emptied.
If you go back to McLeish's time, McLeish must have signed somewhere in the region of about 7,000 or 8,000 players. It seemed like he was bringing in somebody every other fucking day.
That's a shout because of like guys like Klaus Dietrich and Alex Marinkov. But back then, obviously, you didn't have the transfer window, so it was just a case of right, we need a body for Friday night, get him in, and he was away by Sunday again.
Paul Lovering.
It's fun, actually. You know how we talked about the third goal that we conceded against Livy, like the complete clusterfuck between Hanlon and Porteous and the goalkeeper. Well, I don't think the goalkeeper was really to blame, but he was involved. Do you remember? I think it was Hibs against Dundee and get Scalson come running out to intercept a through ball, and I think his clearance is cannoned off Paul Lovering and ended up in the back of the net.
That sounds about right. I think Macalambe went and booted the ball off a boy at Aberdeen.
Lee Miller. I was there.
Me. We're looks like we're signing a big 6'7" goalkeeper again. I think Macalambe was maybe 6'5". Signing a 6'7" goalkeeper.
I remember.
Arsenal, we'll look at.
Do any of you guys remember like some of the chat about Macalambe when there was like chat about him signing, and then there was a picture of him for Easter Road, and he just like dominated the players' tunnel, like just completely filled it.
Well, they had to get a special shirt made for him. I mean, there was a story about that, and obviously it was like a fucking tent. It was no wonder he was slow diving because like the amount of wind resistance that thing would pick up. He'd be like diving in a fucking parachute.
Jakey was like one of those boys like jumping off the edge of the cliff.
Like with the wingsuits.
Wingsuit, that's the one.
Just a human drag racer. I mean, his debut at Tynecastle when I thought we finally found a decent keeper.
Macalambe wasn't as bad as is made out. He had a few shockers, but just he wasn't as good as others made out as well. He was just all right.
I think it's because he came for Chelsea. You just thought he's going to be something special.
Aye, and because the size of him as well, is the other thing. You always think like if a goalkeeper's that size, they're going to be hard to beat, but didn't really prove to be the case with Macalambe.
I'm 6'4" and I'm shitting goals.
I have a fear they're not great at being a goalkeeper. And we used to play fives when I worked at HSBC, and one of the guys that played with us, a guy called Alex, ex-footballer. Like I think he played sort of junior level, maybe part-time, professional. At some point, he'd been coaching at Livingston for a wee while, and was a goalkeeper. And I mind, we obviously when you're playing fives, your mates are at work. Is that you can see the goal when somebody else goes in goals and that kind of thing. So I mind him telling me off one time for turning my back on shots. He says, "You'll save me if you can face the right way." Which was probably the right advice to give him, but aye. Anyway, right, last two questions come from Mike and Doug HFC. Mike says, how good are pies from Alan's Bakery in Westwood Road? And Dougie says, can they possibly beat Baines at Stenhouse? So I've never had a pie at Alan's yet, so that needs to change when the football's back.
Did I ever mention that I am very good friends with Alan's son?
I think you have mentioned it once before.
But that said, I've never sampled the pies, so
neither have I. I was going to suggest that for one of the live YouTube, not maybe live's the wrong word, but one of the YouTube broadcasts that we do, that we maybe have like a pie off, one for Baines, one for Allen's, and a pie off. Aye.
We should do what
But also, I think we should do
Strictly compliant.
strictly I was going to say that we should do the Brian's waffle challenge, because honestly, I'm fucking nailing that. Absolutely no problem.
I've obviously been in isolation for 10 days, so I've watched some weird shit on the internet. No, not that weird stuff. I'd done that before isolation, but on YouTube there's Richard Ayoade, or however you pronounce him.
Yeah.
And he basically, the stuff on YouTube, him just going around the world with other comedians.
Travel man.
There was one, he was in Krakow in the centre talking about the Basilica and stuff like that. And I've been there, but I was only in the pub in that square that I spotted. But with John's mentioning YouTube, we should do, I don't know, just go around various bakeries in Edinburgh and just tan pies.
Maybe mini-series. I'm
can
game
get
for that.
We'll get that Michelin book out of best pies in Edinburgh.
It need to be a Pirelli or something like that. A Pirelli star. Get them.
What's a budget tyre?
Fuck knows.
That's what we should name it after.
We'll give you a Longbanger crust. If your pie's good enough.
Aye.
Right, that's us. Out of questions for the night, guys. Thanks for listening, folks. We'll be back on Monday or Tuesday. Hibs play on Monday night, so okay, whether we'll podcast on Tuesday instead, we'll play it by fucking ear.
Is it Easter Road or Celtic Park?
Celtic Park.
Oh, fuck. That means we're not seeing it.
It's on Sky.
Was it on Sky? Oh, well,
Aye.
There you go. Brilliant. I'll go round to my mates. Break lockdown.
I don't think anybody should see it, because I don't think we should play it, because they get to go to Dubai for a jolly up and I can't do anything.
That seems reasonable.
Cancel it. Give us the 3 points.
3-0 Hibs.
Cool. Be right.
Aye, we'll take that. Okay. Thanks for listening, folks. We'll catch you next time.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink water, no.